Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Katie and today's book through is going to be Rebel of the Sands by Elwyn Hamilton. I'm really excited to get into this review. Obviously I will be doing my spoiler free and spoiler section. This book is really, and I know I keep saying this about books, but I am currently in this phase of just finding books which are just completely unlike anything I've read before, and I'm really enjoying it. So this book is kind of like a kind of Middle Eastern, almost kind of Western, like as in when I say Western I mean like cowboys Western kind of feel to it, which I just think is so cool, like proper gunslingers. And that sort of Middle Eastern culture and that Western culture meeting is just amazing. So the main character of this book is Armani, and she lives in this dead-end town of Dustwalk, and she is fighting to get out ever since she's kind of realised that her aunt's husband thinks, well, you know what, maybe I'll marry her because no one else will have her. She's like, that's it, I have to get out of this town. And she's just one of these really strong, independent women who, you know, she will keep sneaking out of the house no matter how many times like she'll get beaten for it. She will not stop until she can earn enough money to get out of this place. The book starts with her at a gunslinger's fight disguised as a boy to try and win enough money to get out of this place. In said fight she crosses paths with our other main lead, which is Jin, the male cast, yeah sure, let's go with that, and kind of everything changes from that point. And what I like about this is there are lots of different countries within like this sort of like Middle Eastern world that we have, and Jin is from another one, and basically they all have their kind of mythos about, you know, how the world was created, about the original ones, you know, the original magical ones who were the first beings. And I just think it's really cool, and over the course of the years basically like these things have faded, and you can almost maybe think, maybe, you know what, jinns and genies don't exist anymore, all these magical creatures don't really exist anymore, they're so rare. As civilization has industrialized, iron is what's killing the magic and killing the land. So in the town of Dustwalk there is really nothing, maybe the odd like scary nightmare, which is like this weird shadowy thing. It's just like so cool, guys, I cannot stress this. Basically this book is her trying to carve her way to freedom. She is so determined to get out of this town. She will do whatever she can, and I love that about her. She is so determined, she will do what she has to. You know, she dresses up as a guy, she will, you know, cross the deserts for months. Like, she is relentless, and I really love that about her character. So the other main part of this story is the fact that there is this rebel uprising in the desert who want to overthrow the Sultan, and basically it is the rebel son of the Sultan who basically wants to kind of claim his throne because he doesn't like how his father is ruling, and he's been to the other lands and he's seen how other lands prosper and how they can be, and you know, it can be better, and that's what he wants. It was never initially what he wanted, but it's now just become this thing, hence the "a new dawn, a new desert" little tagline. And it is really cool, and these two lines just kind of converge together, and it is just like almost like the fallout and how Armani deals with this. So Armani is a character, like I said, she's very strong-willed, she's very determined. She has her ups and downs, and she has some great character development. She finds out, you know, some personal things about herself, about Jin, that really just change everything. And, you know, she could just walk away from it all and just be like, no, I am just a gunslinger, just leave me alone, I just want to get to my new life and be on my own. Which I really love, because instead of just being like, oh, okay, so she finds out this stuff about herself, she isn't just suddenly like, yeah, I'm this cool new person, and I can do all this, and I'm like, yeah, I like got all this. She is really just like, okay, well, this is happening, great. It is like a real kind of like identity crisis, you know, she just isn't perfect at it, she just doesn't like fall into step with it, and it's like, oh yeah, this is like totally fine, I can do this. She really is just like, maybe I shouldn't be part of any of this, maybe I should back away, because, you know, what use am I, you know, I can fire a gun amazingly because she is awesome. But it's just a really great book, and I can't wait to keep the series going. I'm about to go and get the third one later today. Like I said, it is just really unlike anything I've read. I've never read anything with this sort of like Middle Eastern setting, culture vibe, and I really love that sort of cross with the Western style of it. I think it's really cool, that sort of the Middle Eastern kind of magic and mythos is kind of obviously slowly dying, and I just like that sort of like how civilization is changing, that Western feel is coming out. So I think it is a really cool like mash together. It just works really well. I know there is another one which I think is like called The Wrath and the Dagger or something like that, which is that kind of Middle Eastern vibe. I'm thinking I now want to read this because this is just really cool, and I like finding things that are different to what I've got. So I would really recommend this. I think I gave this book 4 stars out of 5. I would say probably 4 stars because I don't know. Sometimes I like things. I wasn't sat on my train gasping going, oh my god, like like crazy like shocks and twists and jumps, so maybe that's why I probably didn't give it 4 stars. That could be why. But I would definitely recommend this book to you. It is so good. I need you guys to read this. You can now join me for my spoiler part. Spoiler time! Okay, so this book was awesome, as I have said. And like I said, with her and like her identity crisis, I really loved that when she found out that actually she did have these powers, but she didn't know what it was. I thought that was great. How she dealt with that was brilliantly. I loved that she wasn't just like, oh yeah, cool, suddenly like she thinks, oh well, that time and such happened and I never thought it could have been this. I just love that she has no idea, and I think it's really brilliant how her identity is built around her being this bandit, this, you know, gunslinger who is like a great crack shot. I love how actually that's what's been hampering her powers, and what I love is that the more she crosses the desert and obviously away from iron she gets, her powers are starting to manifest. And I really love the scenes when, you know, her powers did come out and she can obviously like control the sand in the desert. I love that she just wasn't like great at it. It was literally like it was ready to swallow her whole. I loved that about it. I love that it was so just like raw. It was just like, it was really good. I thought that was just great writing. I thought it was great character development. And the same when they went to try and rob the train of the weapon, how they were like, your powers are too new, you like you can't or whatever. Or when she didn't know what her powers was, I think it was, sorry. And she was like, well, that's fine, I can just go as the gunslinger, that doesn't matter. Like, I really loved that. I love that she was like, I am still this person who can like shoot from so far away. I can still do that. Just because I can't control my powers or I don't know what they are doesn't mean I'm any less. And I really love that because she had that wobble where she didn't know who she was, but she was kind of like, actually, you know what, I'm here for this fight, I'm going to be really good at it. The other thing I really liked about this book was, like I said, magic is dying, and they have like their myths about like the first beings and all that stuff, and with the development of iron now being like countrywide, I thought it was really cool that the further she was travelling through the desert and through the different countries, that the more and more actually all these creatures were starting to emerge, all these other tales coming. I just thought that was such a great progression of the story, that actually travels from this dead-end town of nothing. We're just starting to just see more of what's out there, and actually, you know, this stuff still does exist, but iron is slowly killing it. So I thought that was really great, and I can't wait to read how that carries on in the next book. I thought just her story and just the actual storytelling of the land itself, I just thought was really brilliant, which is why I think I really loved it, and which is why I'm now thinking maybe I should give it 4.5 stars. But it was just really cool. I can't wait to see how this carries on, and like the introduction of more people like herself who have these powers, who are, you know, half supernatural. I think it is, yeah, like I said, it's something I've never read before, and I just think it was so cool. Part of me does wish I'd read this sooner, but I really just enjoy reading books like all together because I love just getting to the next one. Like, it's just how I prefer to read. So I kind of do wish I had read this sooner because it was just so cool, and I feel like I really missed out because it was just so different to everything I've ever read. But I don't regret waiting because I can't wait to now just pick up the second one straight away because I can. Thank you so much for joining me. I would love to know your thoughts on this book and what you think. If you are going to write anything spoilery, please mention that first in your comments and spoil it for other people. I've done my part. Do your part, people. But yeah, I would love to know what you think of this series. If you've read it as a whole, do you think like it's really good? What do you think about this whole Middle Eastern vibe with that hitting that Western clash? I just think I love it. I hope you did as well. But yeah, I would love to know your thoughts always. Don't forget, you can like and subscribe. That would be wonderful. And you can check out my previous videos as well. Have a good day.